President Trump visiting California on Tuesday, a week after his administration sued the state over its dangerous sanctuary policies. The president will be stopping in San Diego to visit the 8 prototypes for his proposed wall. Joining me now to talk about sanctuary cities and states, Tom Dupree, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General under George W. Bush. Tom, great to see you.
Good to see you, Greg.
There's no question in your mind, is there, that what California and cities and counties there are doing is a clear violation of federal law, that there's 2 different ones. First of all, the Supremacy Clause in the Constitution. Second of all, the federal statute that says they have to cooperate with ICE.
Well, that's it. I mean, this idea that federal law overrides state law is not something new or that was newly minted in the Trump administration. This, as you point out, is in fact in the Constitution. The Constitution says, number 1, that federal law is the supreme law of the land, and number 2, it gives Congress power over immigration. That's not reserved for the states. And so I think if it wants to successfully defend these laws, I think the state of California is going to have to explain in a coherent way to a federal judge why these state laws aren't efforts to obstruct and thwart federal law.
And when you've got a sheriff, for example, in San Francisco, who is told to hold somebody, and instead he says, I'm not going to do that, I'm going to open the jailhouse door, and he goes out and shoots Kate Steinle. When you've got an Oakland mayor who alerts people who are here illegally that ICE is coming for them, strikes me as aiding and abetting obstruction of justice. And I want to put up this statute on the screen. This is a federal law that not too many people talk about. Any person knowing or in reckless disregard of the fact that an alien has come to, entered, or remains in the U.S. in violation of law, conceals, harbors, or shields from detection, or attempts to do so, shall be imprisoned not more than 5 years. And, Tom, if somebody's injured, the penalty jumps to 10 years. If somebody dies, like Kate Steinle, the penalty can be life behind bars. Is it time to start prosecuting these city and county and state officials who are concealing and harboring and shielding?
Well, I think the first thing to do is to see if there's some way to get California to walk this back before you start putting local officials in jail. And I think the way you put it is right in that there is a huge public safety issue here. This bill concerns people who are about to be released from state custody. They have been in jail in the state of California, typically for a good reason, because they pose a threat or a danger to the community. And when federal law enforcement officials simply say to California officials, please cooperate with us, please let us know when these folks are about to be released into the streets and the neighborhoods of our communities so that we can take custody of them and remove them from the country. For California officials to say we're not going to tell you because we want these people to get back out seems to pose a serious public safety threat.
While I've got you here with your great legal background, because you were in the Department of Justice, using a phony document, we call it the dossier, going to a judge, concealing some of the evidence and deceiving the judge by not telling the truth about it. And the law, by the way, requires that the document be verified before you present it to the judge. And failing to do that, isn't that breaking the law by the FBI and DOJ?
If you have law enforcement officials who are trying to bamboozle a federal judge by concealing what they know to be very relevant evidence as to whether or not, say, a surveillance warrant should be granted, I think that is, number 1, a breach of their oath. And also, it very well could be a federal crime if it was done knowingly and intentionally. I think here the question to my mind is from the judge's perspective, when FBI folks were pulling all this material together, were they deprived of the information that they needed to make a fair assessment of whether surveillance was warranted? I think that's the ultimate question that we're going to need to get an answer to.
All right. Tom Dupree, as always, great to see you. Thank you.
Good to see you. Thank you.